Welcome back to another episode of Excuse My Grandma. It's Kim and my co-host,
Grandma Gail.
So you might notice, guys, today we are recording from the amazing Lingua Franca store here in Palm Beach. We wanted to start a series where we podcast out of some of our favorite spots, whether it's a store or a restaurant, and we're better to start that here at LF, where we already have a sweater collaboration. You guys can see on the table here if you're watching, but we have our Excuse My Grandma and Not My Type sweaters. Also, guys, just so you know, we're podcasting. People will be coming in and out of the store. They'll be shopping. We love the live element here, Grandma.
Exactly. Come on in and shop. We're perfectly happy if you come in and shop. This is my favorite sweater. You've seen this on me in pink, especially. I wore it to go see our Times Square billboard, and we just love them. The quality of the cashmere is great. And,
what can I just say, when we walked in the store, the lovely sales ladies who are here in the store, Grandma was like, did you see me on the billboard? Like, you have to give a little more context than that.
No, I think they're just watching us on the billboard.
I know, because so many people approach you and say that
what
they've
life
seen
do
you,
they
so
have except for watching us? I mean,
That
that's
is
really
a very high
an
ego,
activity of people who live in Palm Beach. They're constantly watching us. So anyway, we're having fun in this beautiful little salon.
Yeah, and I mean, I love, they always have cool colors. It's always a cool vibe. I went to the townhouse in the city, which was great. And I'm looking at all these sweaters around me, and I'm like, it's perfect for either winter in the city or wherever, or also you can definitely like wear it with shorts and do that kind of look.
Which you have. You've worn that many times with beige shorts or white shorts, the sweater you're wearing now, Kim.
Totally. But I do feel like right now we're in a very difficult time of like middle season. Like, I was in New York the last few weeks trying to put together date outfits. Both I had a day date and a night date. And it was so hard to figure out, like, do I want a little jacket? Can I go sleeveless? Like, I could not for the life of me figure out something.
This is layer time in the city.
Yeah.
Colder climates. This is the spring. So you have to be prepared to take off your jacket, take off your vest, and be in something cute underneath. Because that's definitely up north or anywhere where it's cold. I mean, certainly in the Midwest, you still need to layer on your jackets and your sweaters and your shirts. And out west, it's been terribly cold. But, of course, in Florida, we wear I wear a sweater every day.
Yeah. Why do you love sweaters so much?
Well, because everything is so highly air conditioned wherever you go in the South. You know, I was in New Orleans recently. New Orleans.
I know, it's like,
Now
I
it's
made
a
you
whole
feel
thing.
so self-conscious about how you say it, that it's just coming out completely
I don't know
wrong.
how to say it anymore.
Yeah.
I've lost the whole state. But I found that no matter where you go, it's cold because of the air conditioning.
Yeah.
So you need to always have a sweater.
Okay, wait, but can I just ask, like, when you're wearing sweaters in the summer, does anyone ever say, like, why are you wearing a sweater?
No, because I think everybody wears a sweater all the time now. I mean, I really think even in the summertime,
Yeah.
if you're at somebody's house, you get chilly in the air conditioning. You know, I wear it over my shoulders, which you always wear, or
Yeah.
even around your waist, because somehow it always gets to be evening time and you need a sweater to throw off. And we live at the beach, so once the sun goes down,
Yeah.
you always need a sweater at night.
Right. When it comes to wearing sweaters, like, on date and stuff, you often push me to do it. Like, can a sweater be sexy?
I think a sweater can be very sexy, but it would have to be a little bit tighter, maybe,
Fitted, yeah.
a little fitted, or pretty little cardigan that you have
Yeah.
your neck open.
Or if
a
it's
little bit.
oversized, then you're wearing it with, like, a mini skirt.
Yeah,
Like, it can't be,
It
yeah.
can't be big and big.
Right.
It has to be like a tight little jean and an oversized sweater.
Yeah.
But I think the whole look is important, and I think it just has to look cute. I mean, cute is really sexy.
Yeah, and at the end of the day, like, you want to dress like yourself. Like,
Exactly.
if that's the kind of thing you wear that, wear what you feel comfortable in. Ultimately, you want someone who makes you feel like that you can be yourself.
Authentic, Kim. This is the word now of the week, authenticity.
Okay.
Everybody has to be authentic.
Yeah.
So
Are there-
be true to yourselves.
Have you ever done like an out of character thing to get either a guy to like you when you were younger, or just in general to get like approval?
I don't think I ever did it for approval because I always thought I was doing the right thing. My
Yeah.
mother always told me I was perfect, so
Okay.
I had no issue with that.
Yeah.
But sometimes you go out of your comfort zone in wearing something, and I did do that when I was in college.
Yeah.
Somehow it always backfired on me because I'm short, and if I tried to do something overwhelming, it never looked as good on me as it did on my friend. So I realized early on, really to wear what was appropriate for my size and shape.
Yeah.
And I think that works today.
Okay, let's talk about our dating topic of the week, which is obviously whatever our rule was that we posted this week. So the rule was if you have to convince yourself he's not ugly, let him go. I know Grandma, it's obviously her rule, but it's not one of her favorites. But what are your thoughts?
It isn't really my favorite rule, but it is something that I know a lot of girls and guys think about, that if a person isn't really what they find attractive, they can't go through on an extra date or on a second or a third date. I know the issue, I understand the issue, but I do think that sometimes as you know somebody and you have more conversation with them or more contact, you find that what you initially thought wasn't so attractive becomes a little more attractive. And that doesn't mean it has to be somebody you really find repulsive. If somebody really turns you off completely, there's no point in making the effort. But I do believe that beauty is only skin deep. It's more important to be true to who you really, the values and the person who is sitting across from you. If you don't find any kind of commonality, then don't even, prolong it.
Yeah, I think
None of these rules are to be hard and fast, Kim. I think nobody who's reading our rules knows they're not really literal.
Well, I think they're obviously
Exactly.
humorous, and
Exactly.
everybody knows that, I think. But
Okay.
I think the rule obviously does imply that attraction is important, but I think it's more about like being honest with yourself. Like, do not convince yourself to like someone. Don't convince yourself that someone's cute if you really don't think they're cute because someone else does or because whatever. Like, I feel like I've been in the situation so many times where I say to my friends, they say, "Oh, let me see a picture." And I'm like, he looks bad in pictures. He's not, let me scroll down and find a good one. Like, it's always because I personally, if I was confident in it, I would be like, this is them. I don't care what you think.
Yeah,
you
but
know?
I've seen some of your friends' dates. They're not so cute either, but they like them.
Yes.
They like them because they've gotten to know them, and then they become attractive to them. That doesn't mean they're going to become attracted to you or to the next person.
Mm-hmm.
So I think really this is a very individual thing. It's got to be your person who you think is cute.
Yeah.
You don't care if the rest of the world finds them cute or attractive. It really is nobody else's commitment. It's yours.
Yeah.
And that people have to realize that. We're not dating George Clooney for the most part. I mean, everybody.
Yeah, but I don't think we're talking about, oh my God, this guy should be a model, but you should not also be in a situation where you're like convincing yourself that someone is not repulsive to you, like not repulsive or not cute to you, whatever. Like, I think it should be also the rules more about like the fundamentals of like, it should be natural. You should find them attractive. You should whatever. It should not be forced.
Okay.
Also, the rule is like very blunt and straightforward, but I understand what you're saying, where it's like out of context, you don't really 100% agree with it.
No.
But it's relatable, I think.
Yeah, and I guess it is. But everybody's got a different idea of what cute is or what handsome or what beautiful is. And that beauty is in the eyes of the beholder.
Yeah, but depending on what you yourself
That's
find it
correct.
as,
That's
you shouldn't
correct.
force yourself.
I think that's right, Kim.
That's what the rule is.
Yeah, that's what the rule is.
Yes. Okay, let's Ask Grandma Anything. People wrote in on Instagram a bunch of questions. Let's start with, is there any book about relationships or dating that Grandma read either in your youth or recently that you can recommend?
Kim, I have to throw this back to you because I never read a book on a relationship. When we were
What about the rules?
Yeah, but those rules we've made up now. Those weren't
No, no,
rules that I
the-
really thought of when I was dating.
Yeah.
I basically had a very easy time finding who was my husband and who were the people I wanted to go out with.
Yeah, I
didn't-
meant the rules that we interviewed the authors of that book, the rules.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah.
You're right. I forgot about that book. That's a wonderful book.
Well,
Absolutely.
it's very traditional.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. I forgot about that. So long ago, Kim.
We've had a lot of episodes.
We've had a lot of rules since then.
Yeah. West Coast or East Coast?
For me, definitely the East Coast. I mean, I love this change in seasons. So up until 15 years ago, I looked forward to winter.
Yeah.
You know, of course, my husband didn't, so that's why we became a snowbird. But I really love the snow. I love the spring. I love the fall. I love the summer. And you don't get that anywhere else except for the Northeast, you know, the way it is, distinct
Yeah.
seasons. Now I can honestly say I like summer all the time because I'm in warm weather all the time.
Right.
So I think, and the West Coast would be something I don't ski. I think if you're a skier or you like, you know,
Oh, like
different-
the Midwest, you're saying.
even the West for skiing.
You don't
too.
like ski in California.
Well, you ski in, don't you ski in, well, I think you could
No,
ski
like
in
also-
the Sierras. You do ski in California. And you can ski.
What?
Yeah, and you ski in Colorado. That's the
Yeah.
West.
Kind of.
No. We're going to have, this is a podcast of arguing today. It's definitely the West. It's not.
Can we get up a map?
It's not in San Diego. You're not skiing, but
Yeah.
but there are states where you do ski in the West, and but I'm not a skier, so I much prefer walking on the beach and being in the sun. All of the areas are beautiful. There's no place that's ugly in the United States, really.
Wow, that's a hot take. There's definitely places that are ugly.
I don't find
I don't think we have the same, like, when it comes to attractiveness.
Yeah, we really don't agree on
No.
anything today. The fans are not going to like us.
You know what? I'm in a mood. Next question. What gets on your nerves?
You today, you're getting on my nerves. I want to talk about something else. I want to talk about your night at the opera.
Oh, okay.
I
Were we not
just-
going to finish our questions
I
and
hate
answers?
these questions unless you have a really good question. Then I want to talk about your night at the opera. Give me
Okay.
one last question. That's good.
Oh my God, we're going to have to answer these later on social media then because I have like 50
Oh,
that we're
let's hear
clearly
it.
not
Come
going to
on,
get
give me
to.
a good one. So far, the first two were really not so hot.
Okay. Now I have pressure.
That's a lot of pressure on this.
Are you going to watch Palm Royale?
Are you finding questions that I don't know anything about? What is that? Just explain
The
it to
new
the
show on
viewers.
Apple TV about Palm Beach in the 60s with Kristen Wiig.
Oh, I will watch it if you show it to
It
me.
comes out this week.
I have no idea. They didn't call me up that they're doing this.
Someone said, does Grandma Gail get paid or does she volunteer to do this?
This is such torture. I think I'm clearly underpaid for the amount of effort I'm putting into these podcasts.
Okay, let's answer the rest on social later. We can catch up because I guess I just landed last night, so we haven't really caught up yet.
I want to talk about, for whoever has been follows Kim and I on Instagram, Kimberly went to the opera.
I did.
the other night.
It was my first time going to the Metropolitan Opera, and I got invited to this special experience where we got to go on stage prior to seeing Romeo and Juliet in French. And it was a really cool experience, like even standing up there
You look
without
beautiful,
the audience.
Kim. I
Thank
loved
you.
your outfit.
Thank you. I wore Veronica Beard. Even standing up there, like looking out with no people there, I was like, whoa.
Yeah.
Like you don't even
The
realize
size of that
the
opera house
size.
is so beautiful.
Yes. So we were in a group of like some influencers who were invited to get this tour. One of the previous bachelors, Peter Weber, was there, Pilot Pete. So I went up and I said, "Can I steal you for a sec?" And we talked for a little bit. Not really. I just was like, "Hi, I've seen you on TV." And then the show was great. I think so. They had the subtitles in front
Right.
of you.
Well, they have that now on all the operas. You
I
know,
can't
but most
imagine
of the
not
operas
having
are
that.
German or Italian, and unless but the thing is with an opera, like if you La Boheme, or like most of the great operas, you just listening to the music, you know what happens. There's always a tragedy. They're always dying in the middle of a love affair.
But
And-
how do you know what happens with that? Like, I know Romeo and Juliet backwards and forwards.
Right.
I was in it in college.
Right.
And I still would needed the subtitles.
Well, that's if you're just supposed to listen to the beautiful music.
Okay.
I think it's
The
more about
talent's
the music.
insane.
It's about the music, and then the actor, the singers on the stage actually, are singing naturally, but they're playing, they're acting it. But you could listen to an opera on a record and imagine what they're doing, because you've seen it now, and you just listen to the music and it puts you in the mood of
Yeah.
that particular scene. And that opera house, the Chagall's, when you walk into the Metropolitan Opera House, that's one of the most gorgeous settings. For those people who don't live in New York, if you make a trip to New York City, just going into that whole complex. But the Opera House, as you walk into it, on the in the left-hand side, you're going to see murals by Chagall, which are probably one of the greatest that he ever did. And
Can't
he did it
say I noticed
specifically.
that.
Well, now you got to go back and
Yeah.
see it, because
Okay.
you were all excited about going backstage.
Yeah.
I wasn't invited backstage, so I had to look
right.
at the actual opera house.
Yeah.
And what has happened there a lot of people don't realize this. The whole area has become dedicated to the ballet, to concerts, to
Like Lincoln Center, you mean?
Lincoln Center. It's all one complex, as well as attached to a school.
Juilliard.
Juilliard. So this happened, that they joined the campuses of all these different, what would you call it, vocal and dramatic
Arts centers?
arts all together.
Yeah.
And they did it just beautifully. Even the stairs going up to the place itself is beautiful. And then they have ponds,
Yeah.
reflecting ponds outside of the Lincoln Center, with the Henry Moores in recline, lying in the pool of water.
Wait, I think it's a different sculpture now.
Oh, they changed it? It's the one in the water is not a Henry Moore, the one lying?
I can show you what it was because I don't remember that.
Oh, then maybe they've changed it.
I'm pretty sure
I
they
haven't been there in a
changed it.
year, so maybe they did.
I will get it up.
But anyway, I think just that experience for people from out of town and fellow New Yorkers, you must go over there at some point.
Like, what's that?
Oh, let me see.
That was the sculpture.
That's a different Henry Moore,
Oh.
but it's still a Henry Moore, but it's not the one I was thinking of. So maybe they have more than one and they rotate
That's all
it.
I saw.
It's beautiful. It's beautiful. So I think that's a must for people who come to New York. People are so busy going to the Met on the East Side. This is the equivalent to an art museum, but a music museum, really. When you think about it.
It's a performance.
Performing
I
arts.
think, I was curious going in because I was like, I love Broadway so much.
Right.
Am I gonna unlock a secret love that I didn't realize? I still think I'm a Broadway person
Right.
over an opera person.
Well, I have to tell you a funny story. Can I tell you a funny story? Because I still think about it all the
Yeah.
time. My father was an absolute devotee of the opera. He loved it. He would listen to it constantly when he was a young man. So we're talking about now in the early 30s. And he met my mother to be, and he took her to the opera. And she loved music as well. She was a very, very talented piano player, and was actually played at Carnegie Hall once. She had a recital.
I don't think I ever heard her play.
Because we didn't have a piano anymore. She sold it when we
okay.
left her, when she left her house
Yeah.
in the suburbs. But anyway, so they go to the opera, and after the performance, he says to her, it was the greatest evening. And she said, oh, I loved it. And they went out again, I guess, several months later. And they go, he says, I'm going to get tickets for I don't remember the exact opera, but I think he said La Boheme. And she said, Eddie, we saw it already. He said,
What?
you can see an opera 100 times. It's not something.
But that was
you
the
just
only
go-
date they went on?
No, but
Oh.
he was going to take her again,
Yeah.
I guess, to see it. And because there must have been somebody else singing that he wanted to hear.
Yeah.
And she said, we already saw that. He said, I have to tell you go to an opera 1,000 times.
But I don't even understand that. Why would you see the same show twice?
Because it's really about the different conductors doing the
Oh.
music. If you really listen to an opera for the real sense of listening to it, it's
Yeah.
about how it's played. in the concert hall.
Okay.
So anyway,
I don't know if I would
always
pick
think
up on
about
that.
and when somebody says, "Oh, I'm going to see the opera," I always think of what my mother said. I saw it already.
Yeah.
So it's. Well, I went to a different experience this week. I went to the Kravis Center down in Palm Beach, and I went to see a show that I didn't love, which I had loved I had seen it twice before in different venues, in different cities, and I was not happy with it, not because of anything except that I don't know if it's the actors themselves who aren't mic'd up properly, or I certainly wasn't sitting all the way back, but I wasn't sitting all the way front in the Kravis either. I couldn't hear the words clearly. It's
Not a
the
you
acoustics.
problem. Obviously, since I've been down here, I've gone to a few shows there
Yeah.
too. There's something going on with the acoustics. Everyone loves talking about how they're having problems with the acoustics. My dad keeps making a joke that he's old, so he can't hear it, but I can't hear it either.
Yeah, I know. I
So
don't know what they
something's happening.
have to do something about it. I mean, the music you can hear. I mean, the music, because it's loud, you can hear it.
But you can't really
But
hear what they're saying.
you cannot hear what they're saying.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that was a little bit of a disappointment.
'cause it
but
ruins
I had
such
seen the
good
show
show.
before, and I was thinking to myself, should I explain it to the man sitting next to me? Because
Yeah.
he kept saying, what? What?
Yeah.
And I figured, I don't know the man very well. I'm not going to tell him. But anyway, so I did miss the quality of the sound that we do here
Yeah.
on Broadway. So that I must
It's
say.
crazy, like,
So crazy.
to go to Broadway and we critique that, and then you see what's going on
well,
in
the
other
road shows,
theaters.
and I can't even criticize the road show. I think it's something in the
That specific
theater
center,
that
yeah.
might be a problem. But anyway, it was still fun, and
Mm-hmm.
it was something different, and so many people get an opportunity to see great theater that they really don't have the opportunity to see. Not
Yeah.
everybody can see things on
No, it's
Broadway.
great to have that,
Yeah.
like, accessibility.
Oh, it adds a great quality of life.
It's more just like, get your shit together a little bit.
Yeah.
Question, at the opera, they didn't give us those, like, little glasses
Oh,
binoculars to see, and that's all I think of when I thought
Pretty
of
woman.
opera.
I
Yeah,
think you're a pretty woman.
that's my
Well, she
only-
was in the balcony. You weren't in the balcony.
I wasn't. But I really just wanted that moment. Did
That
they give
red
them to you
velvet
for
dress
free?
and the ruby necklace. I
Yeah.
don't know if that moment ever
I just
really
thought they would
happens in
hand me
reality.
that when I got there. And, like, Richard Gere was
Well,
going to be
some
my date, but it was
people who really-
Pilot Peter.
Right, exactly. But I think people who really love the opera, and if they're sitting up in the upper tiers, and my parents like to sit in the upper tiers, so they used to take their own binoculars
Yeah.
with them.
Oh,
So
okay.
that they could see whatever they wanted
Yeah, I
to see.
don't
And in those days, they did not put the words
Right.
on the, on the chairs in front of them. But I remember my mom having opera glasses and
Yeah.
my dad.
It's pretty cool, even
Yeah.
just to leave around your house as an accessory or something. That might be my next
Might be good for me to
birthday
look at the
present.
computer.
Yeah.
I might need those opera glasses.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, well, I hope you guys all liked the episode. Let us know where you want to see us podcasting out of next.
Or if you like us in our own studio.
Let us know your thoughts regardless. Again, we are going to look at some of our favorite pieces in
And
the
here,
Lingua
I'm going to
Franca
show you my
store.
favorite. Right now. This is going on Grandma Gail this winter. Love it, love it, love it.
What's it say?
It says,
For people just listening,
you
it's a
can go
black
your-
sweater
you can
with
go your own way.
It's a black sweater with like a little kind of sketched on map that says you can go your own way. It's very cute.
Very Grandma Gail. Do your own thing.
Again, we have a collaboration with Lingua Franca. Our sweaters that say "Excuse my grandma" and "Not my type" on them, which obviously I say all the time. And you guys can get them on the website still. So thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. And we will talk to you soon.
Bye.